Peace and magic to all the gods and the goddesses tuned in. Welcome to Word Origins with Lucifer, Part 18. As promised, this part is definitely going to get into talking about fake astrology and all that or whatnot. So, this video going to be ratherly short and kind of different from the previous Word Origins because it's like I already talked about astrology in the previous part, so it's like the continuation of it. So pretty much like fake astrology, like what is fake astrology? Okay, so in order to get to the core root of like what fake astrology is, we gotta understand how astrology is used on us on an everyday basis. So pretty much like the people who are in control, like Jewish people or whatever or whatnot, pretty much they use stolen technology. And what I mean by stolen technology is they pretty much like went through Egypt. They went through Egypt and stole ancient sundials. So everybody like, whoa, what's the big issue with sundials? Like, sundials are very important because sundials are like pretty much like the original, the first way that we kept track of time, and we only use that for harvest. We use sundials for harvest. That we literally use sundials just for harvest season. That's how we kept track of when harvest season was finna take place. So these Jewish people have taken astrology and they use it to oppress the world. And what I mean by oppress the world, it's like astrology. Astrology is pretty much like navigation of the stars or whatever, star positioning and all that good shit, planet positioning or whatnot. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, please go back to the previous video of the astrology or whatever. Go get tuned in, come back. You're gonna understand what I'm talking about from this point going forward. So pretty much they use astrology to oppress the people of the world and to enslave them. They use it to manipulate, and they use it to do false flag events all around the world. So pretty much like astrology is like their calendar, they bullshit calendar on how to keep y'all motherfuckers in check or whatever. But it's like a lot of people nowadays don't understand that shit, and it's like they selling y'all fake astrology. And what I mean by fake astrology is pretty much like people use astrology. I'm guilty of this. But here's the thing about me. I keep an open mind and a perspective towards life. Because it's like if you don't do that, how can you ever elevate yourself and learn from your past mistakes? So I'm guilty of using astrology to help people identify self abilities. It's not what it's for. Astrology is not for that. It's not to identify self abilities and shit and who you are or whatever. Like it's not for that. It's not used for love and none of that shit. Cause it's like people limit themselves when they use it for that shit. And for example, by what I mean, like say for instance, somebody be like, I can't date Aries. I hate all Aries or whatnot. But it's like all Aries ain't the same. Like everybody got each piece of the zodiac sign in them. Like we all literally have each zodiac sign energy in us. So it's like when you say you hate a person because they got a certain zodiac sign or whatever, or you don't fuck with them, or you just judge a person just based off their zodiac sign, it's like you kind of limiting yourself because you never know this same person that you don't want to fuck with because of a zodiac sign might be a person that helped you go through a door in life that you really need to go through in order to achieve what you need to achieve on your path. But instead, you going off fake astrology that's done like that to make you have limitations on yourself. So in order to move forward with it, that's what fake astrology is. It's like you got to know the difference between how our oppressor use shit and how we use shit or whatever. So it's like a lot of people don't want to take accountability of that, especially like all these astrologers and all that shit. They use this shit for stupid ass reasons. I ain't even gonna lie, that shit is fucking stupid. Like if you actually sit back and think about how Jewish people use astrology compared to how like everybody else uses astrology, it's like some very low vibrational shit all the way around. All the way around. So while they sitting up While they sitting up using astrology to manipulate the masses, we using astrology to just limit ourselves, to keep fighting each other like crabs in the barrel, to keep having self-hate for one another. Like, just self-hate for one another. Think about that. Like, if you hate yourself, then you hate other people. So now at this point, you are dangerously projecting your self-hate on other people. Like, it's like we gotta learn to move past self-limiting factors, and how people use astrology now is self-limitations. Like, I can even pull a card for y'all right now and show y'all that shit. See, it's like authority. This is what fake astrology does. It strips you from your own authority. So it's like, people, please be real. Stop using astrology to help people with love, compatibilities, and self abilities. It's not for that shit. It's not for that shit. Then it's like, when you sit up and like try to explain to people and all that shit, people be liking to get disrespectful or whatever, or they try to get like they people that follow them, I guess they supporters and all that shit or whatever, to like come be disrespectful or whatever. So it's like, they not even trying to ask questions and none of that shit. They just immediately call it bullshit and send their followers and shit at us or whatnot. And so, and it's like, that shit get dangerous for the followers and for that individual, because we are divinely protected. We speak in fucking divine truth. So the universe gonna protect the truth regardless or whatever. And on top of that, these people who out here spreading this fake astrology or whatever, they already putting themselves in negative karmatic debt. So they themselves that believe in this fake astrology shit is already added to their own karmic debt. But at the same time, they tripling their own karmic debt at the same time or whatever, by constantly leading people astray with fake astrology. So it's like, if you putting limitations on other people in the universe or whatever, like, that karma deck is gonna come back to you like 3 times fold. And people don't even realize they just be self sabotaging themselves because they don't want to hold accountability to the level they thought process and they wisdom up or whatever. Like, I don't understand that shit, but it's a lot of shit that, I mean, I understand that shit, but at the same time, it's like fucking retarded to me once you sit back and look at the whole overall issue of everything. And it all starts with wanting to understand shit, wanting to be open minded, and wanting to have an open perspective towards life, and learning what all of this shit was really for. Because at this point, if like motherfuckers keep continuing to use astrology for love compatibilities and self abilities and all that shit, like, we just gonna end up self limiting ourselves and playing into the oppressor's hand of how they plan false flag events and how they manipulate energy of the people of Earth. Because they just using stolen technology. They don't even fully know how to use it. But whatever, y'all just like this. Oh, Pisces, this air signs are going to have a magical day. Like, why the fuck do you got to be an air sign to have a magical day? Like, why can't everybody have a magical and blessed day? And then it's just like, even with the air element signs and all that shit, like earth signs and all that shit, people don't even realize like everybody got every aspect of that shit too. Like, everybody has an earth sign in them. If you walk in this motherfucking earth and you breathe air, you got to breathe air to live. So if you breathe air, you're a air. You have air sign qualities as well. And that's what I mean. It's just common sense with a lot of shit, but people don't want to use common sense. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, fuck fake astrology. Like, this shit is like self destruction. Stop looking up these YouTubers, these influencers, and all that shit, because they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They shooting themselves in the foot and shooting y'all in the foot as well. Like, start doing y'all research and start looking shit up. Like, all of this shit you can look up on the fucking internet. Google is fucking free. It's fucking free. This is the age of information at your fingertips. All you gotta do is just constantly keep asking yourself questions if you want to expand and learn and move forward in life. It's simple. Just keep asking yourself questions. If shit don't make sense to you, ask yourself a question of why it don't make sense to you. And I guarantee you, if you focus on wanting the answer gonna present itself to you. So we gonna end this word origins on that note, and I want y'all to stay magical and fucking dangerous. You are always blessed, but you gotta realize the choice is yours to forever remain blessed in your perspective in life. So it's deity gang. I'm out.